listening to the Take Back Your Awesome radio show with your host, Colette Morris, talking about all things health, mindset, family, and money.
Welcome back to the Take Back Your Awesome show. How are you? This is an incredible time that we are in, don't you think? 2021, and some of us are still in lockdown. Some of us are waiting to get our vaccinations. Some of us are cautious about whether to get these vaccinations or not. If you're like me and you're from the BAME community, then you may have some reservations. I had my vaccination about 3 weeks ago, and I have got no qualms about receiving the vaccine or what it can do to have that level of protection against this dreadful disease. When I look upon all the medication that I'm taking, the side effects of my medication far outreach the side effects of having this COVID injection. But that's all I'm going to be saying about the subject, because we're not here to discuss that today. No, we're not. We are here to talk about your story. How do you tell your story? Now, if you are someone who wants to be a speaker, if you're someone who has a business, then it's important to know how to share and tell your story, because this is what will make you a lot of money. This is what will help draw people to you. This is what will make you unique. This is what will attract your tribe towards you. So where do you start, Diamond? Where do you start? Well, the first place to start is to start with you. Start with the format of how stories go. Have you ever read a bedtime story to a child? You know that it always begins with once upon a time. That's right. And it always ends with the end. But what about the middle? There's usually a bit of action in there, right? So, your story, the beginning. What was it like in the beginning? What was your pain points? Where were you coming from? What were you going through? What was your mindset like? What was life like around you? This is your beginning, the beginning of your story. In all stories, there's going to be a goodie and a baddie. So what was the beginning is the bad points. And then you have towards the middle is where you start to go on the adventure. You start to improve yourself. You start to see some light at the end of the tunnel. You start to see some way forward. And then you have the ending where all seems to go well. You've come through and you've succeeded. That is your story in a nutshell. That is your story in a nutshell. But how do you condense that so that you're able to say this and speak this in a matter of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how much time you have? You need to be able to condense your story. So first of all, the first exercise to do is to acknowledge that you have a story, because yes, we all do have a story. Some of us have several stories within us. Some of us have a book. Some of us might have a few chapters. But as life goes on, more and more chapters will be added. So all I can say to you is start off with chapter 1, how it all began. So what was your background like? What was your family life like? What was it like for you with your siblings and with your parents? What was it like for you educational-wise? What was it like for you as you were growing up? Did you have some kind of illness or some kind of disability that you had to adapt to, get over? Whatever it is, write it all down. I would say write your whole story down. As you see it in your head. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't matter if it's all out of order. The main thing is to first of all write it all down. Until you see it in writing, you won't realize how strong a story is. And you know what? Each of us goes through a different experience. Sometimes not because of ourselves, but for others to learn from. We may not realize that at the time, right? Because when you're going through something, it's looking dark to you. It's looking like you can't see the end of the tunnel. You can't see the light. But you just know that you're going through this, and you've got to get through this to get to the other side. This is your journey. And it's when you recount your journey that others will listen to you and think, do you know what? I've had a similar path in my life. I can associate to all the points that she's making, all the pain that she's going through, all the areas that she's been through. I can associate with this. And your story gives others hope. Give others hope that they too can come out the other side. If they're at the beginning of their story, they know how it's ended with you. If they're at the middle of their story, they know how it's ended with you. And if they're coming to the end, they know there's an end because of you. That's how powerful your story is. It's not to be hidden away. Many of us feel really embarrassed, really ashamed of what we go through in life. But listen, girlfriend, you're going through life to share it with your village, to share it with the others who are behind you, so that they too don't make those mistakes. They too will know that there are shortcuts. They too will know that they are able to overcome. Your story can help others to rise from the depths of where they currently are in their mind. Your story can help others go through the storms that they're going through, knowing that it will come to an end. So sharing your story helps you to heal by telling others. And when you retell your story over and over again, it's helping you to heal. It's helping you to get over your trauma and your drama. It's helping you to share your life with others. By sharing your story, you're also helping others to heal. You're also helping others to face their self-realization, to succumb their ashamedness, to talk about what's going on in their life, where they may have hidden it from others. Once they hear your story, they are encouraged to speak theirs. So speak your truth, Queen. Speak your truth. Share your stories and help others to grow. Help others to rise and help them to take back their awesome. So this comes to the end of my podcast today. But if you've received value from this podcast, I'd love to hear from you. Visit me on my website, souldiva.net, and also leave some comments, and don't forget to subscribe to my podcast channel to hear more from your Take Back Your Awesome show.
Thank you for joining Colette Morris on the Take Back Your Awesome radio show. Tune in for our next episode on everything health, mindset, and business.